Hey everyone, Carrie Lee here with Pura Vida Vitality and Nutrition, and today I'm going to share with you some tips that you can use if you ever have a headache. So basically these are some natural things that you can do to alleviate any headaches or migraines that you may have. So first off, usually the common over-the-counter remedy for headaches and migraines, any sort of head pain or tension whatsoever, tends to be either the NSAIDs, so things like Advil, Tylenol, which of course is acetaminophen or ibuprofen in the Advil, or as well aspirin. And the reason why we don't want to reach for these, especially too often, is because it does wreak havoc with our system. There are digestive disturbances that can occur, and this could be somebody that is just a little bit overly sensitive, having some sort of gastritis, which is stomach lining squeezing and things like that, causing some stomach ache, some nausea. It could also be more of a long-term effect, like ulceration in the stomach as well as in the duodenum, which is the beginning of the small intestine. And it also wreaks havoc with the liver and the kidneys because, of course, these are chemicals that we're putting into our body in order to sort of work as a band-aid effect and cover up the nerve pain, which is causing the headache and migraine. And what's happening is the kidney and the liver is responsible for filtering through these chemicals and getting them out of the body through the urine as well as through the bowel. So basically, we have enough toxicity occurring in this world, we want to try to limit our toxicity. So these are some tips that you can use instead of using any over-the-counter pharmaceutical drugs as well. So first of all, a lot of the time when people have headaches or migraines, it's actually because they're dehydrated. What this does is this causes the blood vessels in your brain, the little tiny blood vessels called capillaries, to sort of tense up. And even though these little tiny blood vessels are so small, when you have a whole bunch of them that are tensing up, it tends to cause a tension headache or a compound headache or even sometimes a migraine in worst case scenarios. So if you have a headache, try downing a couple glasses of water if you can. If you're not a huge water fan, or let's say it's a little bit of a colder season, try downing a couple of herbal teas, and that way you're trying to increase the hydration in your body and then therefore eliminate the pressure on the capillaries inside the brain. And once these start to expand, you should see a little bit of a relief in your headache or migraine. Also, for some people, there's a lot of blood sugar irregularities that are occurring in society, unfortunately, because of the highly processed or highly sugar diets that we tend to be eating. So if you find that when you get overly hungry, you have a headache or you experience some shaking or mood swings or things like that, this is a beginning symptom of hypoglycemia, which means a drop in blood sugar. And basically the body is kind of in a state of fight or flight at this point and really wanting the sugar back up there. And a lot of the time it has you craving for the wrong sorts of things. So it could be a cup of coffee, it could be any sort of sugary food or any white refined food, so any processed foods at all. And basically this is your body's way of getting the blood sugar back up there and getting a spike or hyperglycemia. So you could see how over the course of the day, if we tend to follow our cravings and reach for the high sugar or highly caffeinated things, you see a blood sugar throughout the day that goes like this. It has peaks and it has valleys. And typically speaking, your blood sugar should be even all day long, just like that. So that's when you really want to reach for high protein and high fiber-rich foods and things like that. And basically what that will do is that will help regulate your blood sugar levels. So some other ideas what you can do is there's a cream out there that you can get at a health food store called capsaicin, and what that is the active ingredient is cayenne pepper, and it just comes in a little tube and it's just a white cream, and you can rub a little bit on just the inside of your nostril. If you're feeling the headache on the left, you'd rub it in on the left hand side, or if you've kind of got a tension headache where it's all across the front or all across the back, you can put a little bit of the capsaicin cream inside both nostrils. And what this will do is actually within the matter of typically 10 to 15 minutes is it decreases the inflammation in the brain or decreases any inflammation in those little capillaries. So you should have an improvement with your headache and migraine symptoms. Something else you can do is use ginger more so in your diet, especially when you're experiencing any headaches or migraines. And that's because ginger is one of the most potent and powerful herbs. Not only is it really high in antioxidants, so it's great for your health, but it's also one of the largest anti-inflammatories that we have in the in the natural whole foods world. So you can brew some ginger root tea. You can just buy the ginger tea bags, but that's not quite the same as getting sort of like a whole natural ginger root, cutting it up yourself and boiling it in some hot water. It's really interesting to note as well that if you drink this tea, they say that within about 10 to 15 minutes, or the same amount of time that it would take for an aspirin to work, the ginger actually takes a hold and reduces inflammation and will get rid of your headaches. So definitely give that a try. Something else that you can do is there's, if you believe in acupuncture and acupressure, which basically involves meridians along the body, some really cool stuff, and there's a lot of science backing to it as well. There's actually a pressure point right here on the inside of your thumb, between your index finger and your thumb, and what you can do is just gently massage that. And you want to do both sides, but you're just going to gently massage for a few minutes. I'm sort of speeding up the process here. Gently massage, and what that does is that's actually shown to be in the network with and get rid of the spots that tend to trigger headaches and migraines to occur. So try that as well. That's an absolutely wonderful idea. And aromatherapy is a sort of a therapy that I really, really enjoy because it's quite enjoyable as well. And basically what two aromatherapy oils are really good for reducing headaches and tension. Number one is lavender oil, and number two is peppermint oil. And there's actually a lot of research showing that these types of oils will completely get rid of the headache, again, by reducing inflammation. So if you're sitting in an office or you're at home and you can burn some aromatherapy oils, then that's a great idea. Around you, you can do that. But if you're more like in an office setting that you can't sort of, have some aromatherapy oils burning, is just get a little bit of the oil, dab it on your finger, and rub it on your temples here. Or sometimes I find that I get kind of almost like a headache as well as it comes down into the jaw. So you could rub a little bit of oil in the jaw there too, either lavender or peppermint oil. And this will be wonderful at reducing the brain's inflammation and reducing the capillaries there, reducing the pressure on them, and therefore getting rid of your headache. And then just the last couple of things here that you can do. A lot of the time people that have headaches and migraines are actually overly tense, where it comes on during a stressful time, if you're trying to concentrate, if you've got a lot of things to do during your day or a deadline due. So even though it's going to take a couple minutes out of your time, this will be well worth it. Just close your eyes, sit back and relax, and try to do some deep diaphragmatic breathing. In other words, belly breathing. So what you're doing is when you're breathing in, you're expanding into your belly as far as you can go, and then breathe out. And try that a few times. And other times it's helpful to do just a little bit of light meditation as well. And I think this is part of the reason that this works is because your eyes are closed and you're just trying to relax for a few minutes. And then I do believe that meditation can be quite healing as well. And then what you can do is if you have access to like some sort of a hot pack or heating pad or a hot water bottle, try laying it across your neck and your shoulders here and just really try to make sure that your shoulders are back and down. Or if you have sort of a tension headache up here in your temple area, you can do the same thing with sort of a hot cloth or some sort of one of those magic bean bags that you heat up, and you can just lay it across here and really just give it 5 or 10 minutes, because I promise when you go back to work, you are going to be so much more productive, or when you go back to your day, you're going to be so much more productive without having that headache or that migraine. So I hope this was useful for you today. Please check me out on Facebook at Pura Vida Vitality and Nutrition, or follow me on my webpage as well for some new updates and some great blog posts that I try to keep up with at www.puravitavitality.ca. And check out my YouTube channel, Carrie Lee RHN, for more great videos. Have a great day.